Fallaci spent 2 years in Vietnam covering the war from the front lines. Later in her career, she became known for her combative interviews with the world's toughest leaders: Henry Kissinger, the Ayatollah Khomeini, Gaddafi, Arafat. She has dedicated Inshallah to the 400 French and American soldiers killed there one night in a suicide attack by Islamic terrorists. 10 years later, the incident has an eerie relevance to the recent attack on the World Trade Center.
Why am I here? Because since September 11th we are at war. Because the front line of that war is here in America. Because when I was a war correspondent, I liked to be on the front line. And this time in this war, I don't feel as a war correspondent. I feel as a soldier. The duty of a soldier is to fight. And to fight this war, I deploy a personal weapon. It's not a gun. It's a small book, The Rage and the Pride. My soldier weapon is the weapon of truth, the truth that begins with the truth I maintain in these pages. From Afghanistan to Sudan, from Palestine to Pakistan, from Malaysia to Iran, from Egypt to Iraq, from Algeria to Senegal, from Syria to Kenya, from Libya to Chad, from Lebanon to Morocco, from Indonesia to Yemen, from Saudi Arabia to Somalia. The hate for the West swells like a fire fed by the wind. And the followers of Islamic fundamentalism multiply like a protozoa of a cell, which splits to become 2 cells, then 4, then 8, then 16, then 32 to infinity. The ferocious faces that threaten fists, the fires that burn the American flag. The clash between us and them is not a military clash. Oh no, it's a culture one, a religious one. President Bush has said, "We refuse to live in fear." Beautiful sentence, very beautiful, but inexact, because the West does live in fear. People are afraid to speak against the Islamic world, afraid to offend and to be punished for offending the sons of Allah. You can insult the Christians, the Buddhists, the Hindus, the Jews, but it's not the same for the citizen who pronounces a word against the Islamic religion. My small book is not tender with Islam. In certain passages it's even ferocious, but it's even more ferocious with us, as Italians, as Europeans, as Americans. I call my book a sermon addressed to the Italians, to the Europeans, to the Westerners. And along with the rage, the sermons unchains the pride. For their culture, my culture, the culture that in spite of its mistakes, its faults, even monstrosities, has given so much to the world. It has moved us from the tents of the deserts and the huts of the woods to the dignity of civilization. It has given us the concept of beauty, of morals, of freedom, of equality. It has made a unique conquest in the social field, in the realm of science. It has wiped out many diseases. It has invented all the tools that make life easier and more intelligent. Those tools that our enemies can also use, for instance, to kill us. It has brought us to the moon and to Mars, and this cannot be said of the other culture, a culture which has produced and produces only religion, which in every sense imprisons women inside the burqa or the chador, which is never accompanied by a drop of freedom, a drop of democracy, which subjugates its people under theocratic or oppressive regimes. Socrates, Aristotle, Heraclitus were not mullahs. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Galileo, Copernicus, Newton, Pasteur, Einstein the same. My book is also j'accuse, to accuse us of cowardice, hypocrisy, demagogy, laziness, moral misery, the stupidity of the unbearable fad of political correctness, the paucity of our schools, our university, our young people, who often don't even know the history of their country, the names Jefferson, Franklin, Robespierre, Napoleon, Garibaldi, and they have no understanding that freedom cannot exist without discipline, self-discipline. I accuse ourselves also of another crime, the loss of passion. Haven't you understood what drives our enemies? What permits them to fight this war against us? The passion. They have passion. They have so much passion that they can die for it. The leaders too, of course. I met Khomeini. I discussed with him for more than 6 hours. And I tell you that that man was a man of passion. I've never met Bin Laden, but I have well observed his eyes. I've well listened to his voice. And I tell you that that man is a man of passion. We have lost passion. Well, I have not. I boil with passion. I too am ready to die for passion. But around me I see no passion. And a civilization, a culture, cannot survive without passion, cannot be saved without passion. If the West doesn't wake up, if we do not refine passion, we are lost. To quote from my book, the problem is that the solution does not depend upon the death of Osama bin Laden, because the Osama bin Ladens are too many. In fact, the best trained and the more intelligent do not stay in Muslim countries. They stay in our own countries, in our cities, our universities, our business companies. They have excellent bonds with our banks, our televisions, our radios, our newspapers, our publishers, our academic organizations, our political parties. Worse, they live in the heart of a society that hosts them without questioning their differences, without checking their bad intentions, without penalizing their sullen fanaticism. If we continue to stay inert, they will become always more and more. They will demand always more and more. They will vex and boss us always more and more, till the point of subduing us. Therefore, dealing with them will be impossible. Attempting a dialogue unthinkable, showing indulgence suicidal, and he or she who believes the contrary is a fool.